Galvanic cell. What is galvanic cell in material science point of view? It is an electrochemical cell that converts the chemical energy of spontaneous redox reactions into electrical energy. In a typical galvanic cell setup, there are 5 crucial components that we need to know. Those components are anode, cathode, electrode, electrolyte and salt bridge. These are the working principles to further understand how the cell works. A copper anode, a silver anode, a salt bridge, a voltmeter, connecting wires, a beaker filled with 1 mole solution of copper 2 nitride and a beaker filled with 1 mole solution of silver nitrate, are the materials and equipment needed for this experiment setup. The electrons will flow from the anode to the cathode. The copper anode, which is the negative electrode, is releasing copper ions into the electrolyte, while the silver ions is entering the silver electrode, which is the positive electrode. In the left half cell, oxidation happens, so the electrode is called anode. For the electrode in the right half cell, the electrode is known as cathode because reduction reaction takes place. In this case, the cell potential should be plus 0.46 volt. We can analyze the galvanic cell by consider a galvanic consists of chromium electrode which react with the copper ions and form chromium ions and copper in solid form. By inspection, chromium is oxidized when 3 electrons are lost to form Cr3+. And Cu2+ is reduced as it gains 2 electrons to form copper. If we balancing the charge where the oxidation of chromium and the reduction of copper occur simultaneously, gives the overall equation stated in the diagram. Cell notation uses the simplest form of each of the equations and starts with the reaction at the anode. There were no concentrations specified. So, oxidation occurs at the anode and reduction at the cathode. For next example, consider a galvanic cell consisting of Fe2+, NO4 and H+ ions. We need to determine the oxidation and reduction half reactions and write the reaction using cell notation. Which reaction occur at anode and cathode?
By inspection, iron 2+ undergoes oxidation when 1 electron is lost to form iron 3+, and MnO4- is reduced as it gains 5 electrons to form Mn2+.
Cell notation uses the simplest form of each of the equations, and starts with the reaction at the anode. It is necessary to use an inert electrode, such as platinum, because there is no metal present to conduct the electrons from the anode to the cathode. No concentrations were specified, so oxidation occurs at the anode and reduction at the cathode. Let's look at one of the application of galvanic cell in dry cell. For example, Leclanche cell, which is mostly used for telegraphy, electric bell and signaling work, and for work where intermittent and low current was needed. The Leclanche cell will undergo all the reaction mentioned and eventually will decrease the electromotive force of the cell.